Do you know about your natal chart? Do you even know what a natal chart is? I'm sure you know what your zodiac sign is, but it goes so much deeper than saying just a zodiac sign. Your natal chart is basically the makeup of you, from your name, your date of birth, and your time of birth. Your natal chart basically explains who you are, what traits and characteristics you possess, and some things that you may experience in your life, and your 12 houses. I'm sure some of you guys already know that your sun sign is your most common zodiac sign, and this is what we usually look up when we think about our zodiac signs. For you guys who don't know, I am a Pisces sun sign, my moon sign is an Aries, and my rising sign is a Scorpio. The reason why I know these things is because I was able to pull up my natal chart with my time of birth, my birthday, and my full name. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a quick summary of what the 12 houses are, and we're going to go into depth because this is a whole long freaking process. Like, the natal chart is so extensive, it cannot be summed up into one video. So I'm going to give you a quick overview on what the 12 houses are. And we're going to be talking about my sun sign, which is a Pisces, and a site that you can go on and find your natal chart so you can learn more about your sun, moon, rising sign, and the 12 houses. If this is something that you're interested in learning about, continue watching. So first off, I just want to say that everything that I'm talking about is on cafeastrology.com. If you want to look up your own natal chart, they have free natal charts on there, and they explain what each sign stands for, your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mercury, all the planets, and your houses. So I'm just going to be basically kind of referencing my natal chart and explaining it to you. So according to Cafe Astrology, our sun sign shows our personal identity, our ego, our character. It represents our will to live and our creative life force. Just as the planets revolve around the sun, we basically derive our life purpose from our sun sign. Our sun sign is basically our adult self. This is what helps us to make decisions and just reason things out. The sun is often considered the boss of our chart, and that's why I mentioned it first, because this is what everybody knows. Like, I'm a Pisces sun, and I know there's other Pisces on my channel because I did the Life Path series. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it, and I put the card and link it down below. So your sun sign is your most commonly used zodiac sign. This is the sign that we look when we are looking up our horoscope for the day, or if we're looking to see if we're compatible with the person, or, you know, different things. This is usually summed up into one zodiac sign. And we are so dynamic, there is no way that we can be just one zodiac sign. That's why you can meet two people who are the same sign and they can be a bit different. They may have similarities, but they are different as a whole. So that's why I'm going to break down my natal chart, and I'm going to explain to you what the sun sign represents for you as a person and your characteristics, and then we're going to dive into the sun sign of Pisces. I'm such a hand talker. I've always been that way, and it works for me. So you're probably wondering, like, how do I find out, or how do I even know what time I was born? If your time of birth is not listed on your birth certificate, you can find this out by going to or calling your hospital that you were born at. If that hospital still exists, you can find that information out, or you can try to request for some original documents, the long version of your birth certificate that should give you the time of birth and other information where you were born and things like that. But in order for you to have an accurate, comprehensive natal chart, you do need your time of birth. So just to sum up what the 12 houses are, and we're going to dive into this in a future video because this video is definitely going to be a series. The 12 houses represent the different areas in your life, the certain people you're going to meet, different encounters that you're going to come across in your lifetime. And each house is broken into 12 houses, and it explains something different about you. Your first house, by the way, is your ascendant sign. This is your rising sign, and this explains certain things about you as well. But we're not going to get too much into the 12 houses today. Today we're going to go into the sun sign, which is totally different than the 12 houses, but it's also included in your natal chart. We usually look at our sun sign, and then we take the traits and characteristics listed in our horoscope, and we kind of just use that like, okay, is this for me? Is this not for me? That's why sometimes you may read a horoscope or something about your sun sign. It might not be directly for you in that moment, because it can be for somebody else experiencing something else in their life at that time. And you guys could still be the same sun sign, but it's totally but you have different rising, different moon signs, and your whole natal chart makes up who you are. Now, I do want to say, in your natal chart, it may say some positive things, and it's going to say some negative things as well. It may have some traits about you that you might not necessarily like, or traits about you that you may see within yourself, and you're like, oh, it's justified because it's in my natal chart. No, things can change. The natal chart is used as a tool to get to know yourself better. If you don't like something about yourself, you can always change it. Just because it's written in a chart doesn't mean that this is just how it's going to be. Like, this is what it is. No. Come on now. We know better. If there's something about ourselves that we don't like, if it's a trait that is not necessarily in alignment with our highest purpose, like say, for example, if your natal chart said that you may be a drinker or a gambler, that is not necessarily a good trait to have or a good habit to have, and they can be broken. So don't take everything literally in your natal chart. If you see something in your natal chart that you don't like, this is an opportunity for you to change those things. So although we are made up of different signs, the sun sign is the most influential and significant of all the signs. So that's why we refer to, when people ask us, what's your sign? We usually go to our sun sign, and this is the sign that we know of. I know before I got into astrology and learning more about myself and things like that, I only knew about the sun sign. So when I found out about my moon, my rising, and the 12 houses and stuff, I was like, honey, like, are you kidding me? Like, there's more to me than I thought. Like, I thought I was Pisces this whole time, and I was proud of it to be a fish, little mermaid. But we are made of so much more. So the sun sign is highly influential and significant in our chart. So this part, I'm kind of going to be breaking down the Pisces in the sun. So if you are a Pisces in the sun, you won't have to really read this part or go over and research this part unless you choose to. But this part, I'm going to be breaking down me being a Pisces in the sun and what that means for me. And if you are another sign, this means something different for you. Nevertheless, you may have Pisces in your chart in another area. Like, I got Aries in my chart, I got Cancer in my chart, I got Scorpio in my chart. So you might have my same rising sign or my same moon sign or something like that. So when I explain those things, you might be able to kind of understand. But for my Pisces out there, this is for the sun in Pisces, and this is going to be breaking that down. So with your sun, the year of astrology doesn't start until Aries. So Aries and April is actually the first month or the first sign of the charts. So Pisces being the third month of the year is not necessarily the third sign in astrology. So for astrology, the calendar starts with April being the first month and Aries being the first sign. So with Pisces being the 12th sign or the last sign in the astrology chart, this means that we kind of portray certain attributes and characteristics of all the signs, because we get them all. We're the last one. You had to go through all the rest of them to get to us. So this means for Pisces that we're highly adaptable and changeable. We have the ability to connect with all types of people from all walks of life. We're super adaptable, interchangeable, and this fluidity, or like water is so fluid, is what kind of makes us up to be like this magical sign that we are. We are extremely open-minded and have tremendous understanding. Like, we can definitely, I know for me, I'm super understanding. I can relate to a lot of people, and I find that people are attracted to me, or I'm attracted to people. I can get along with a lot of people. There's not really too often that I just meet somebody and we don't get along. Like, usually when I meet people, we hit it off and like we're just cool immediately. Sometimes like I say, my spirit don't take people, and it's okay. But I still am respectful, and I'm still cordial, but I'm not gonna say that we hit it off every time. So I'm not gonna say I hit it off with everybody, but I know that I can be in a room with different types of people, and it's totally fine. I can get along with many different types of people regardless of their personality and their characteristics. Unfortunately, we are so understanding and adaptable and changeable. We just yearn for people to understand us, and that's something that we lack a lot of times. People don't understand Pisceans. Like, we always are saying or craving for people to better understand us. My chart actually says that suffering is glamorized in the Piscean world, and for me, I can relate to a point of my life where I used to feel like I was suffering a lot and like things were happening to me. Like, am I cursed or what? Like, what's going on? Why can't I just like move forward? Why all these things are happening to me? And once I changed my mind, like I say, you change your mind, you change your life. I no longer deal with that. Like, suffering for me, that's not going to happen. Like, no, sorry. Even when I go through things, I'm not going to consider it suffering because it's a lesson. Our chart says that Pisces sun can be known as like wishy-washy, but this is up to opinion, because personally I can say that sometimes I'm sometimey. Like, that's what I call it. I'm sometimey, wishy-washy, or whatever you want to call it. But I know that it depends on, I don't know, I guess it depends on who I'm talking to, or like, I don't know. I can see how it could be true. You know, I have to be honest about things. So the chart also mentioned that you will find someone that's this Pisces sun to have like real dreams, not just having that picket fence or making their way up the corporate ladder, but also like helping people. And this I have found to be very true. Obviously, I created this page to help people. Like, that's what I love to do. I love hearing your comments, like how much I've helped you, how much, like, I love you guys. Like, I really, really, really get fulfillment out of doing these videos for you, to bring content to you, to help you to learn more about yourself. Oh, Pisces are really in tune to their higher purpose and higher goals. So we kind of transcend individuals in a way, because we want to give back, we want to help people, and we're just highly spiritual beings. Pisces are not known to be the cutthroat business type, or are we known for just throwing ourselves out into the world. And one thing about this, I would say, is that I'm an Aries moon, and I'm an Aries Venus, I think. But I can have that kind of cutthroat mentality when it comes to business. Like, I can separate business and personal. Some things that I say in a business, like when I ran my business, people might not like it, but they like me because of the way that I say it is respectful. I'm never going to be rude about it. But for the most part, I like things to be done a certain way, and I love structure. So if it's not done that way and I've clearly outlined what I expect, then for me to reprimand or discipline somebody, it's kind of like easy for me, because at this point, you know what I expect, you know our expectations for the business and the company, and to separate business and personal, I have to be able to address certain things. So that's one thing I can say. Maybe not cutthroat, maybe that's just being able to manage a business and employees, but whatever, I don't know. But don't get me wrong, Pisces can be like super successful as well. Pisces can find their way or their expression in like music, arts, healing arts, creative things are great ways for Pisces to express themselves, and in these areas we thrive the most. Another thing our natal chart says, with your sun signs being in Pisces, is that we are super sensitive, which I have to agree with. We're sensitive for our feelings and criticism, and we're sensitive to other people. Like, we're big crybabies. Well, I know I am. And we don't want to see people hurt, and we don't like to hurt people, and like, it's very hurtful when compassionless people hurt us. And that's kind of like, it sucks because we like to help people. It's really hard for us to say no, and we're really just like genuine hearted people. Like, every Pisces that I've met has been the same, like male, female, although there are certain differences between the male and the female Pisces, but we are just big hearted people. Like, we really wear our hearts on our sleeves, and we want to see the best in people. When we're hurt, we also go through our emotions and our self-pity, and we go like dig ourselves in a hole and say, oh, we're never gonna trust again, and we're never gonna do this again. In reality, that's not the truth. We would like to be savages, but we're not at the heart, we're not at the core. It's like hard to be like a real savage. I know Rihanna says she is savage, but she probably got some other stuff in her chart that can make her like that. But Pisces, naturally, we aren't. We still have a big heart. And I know that Rihanna still has a big heart regardless. Like, she probably calls herself a savage. I know, and I can see Rihanna has a huge heart. If you see interviews with her, if you've seen how she interacts with her crew, like, it's a family. Like, she has a huge heart. So Pisces, naturally, we have this big heart. We want to see the best in people. We want to be trusting. And when we do get hurt, we go into our little holes and we like start to create our own type of reality. We can get really into our heads. So that is not a good trait about Pisces sun. And that's one thing that you can try to work on. When you see yourself kind of falling back into that pattern, start to work your way out of it. One thing for sure, when we do go back into our little hole and we go through our little process, we always come back stronger. We come back stronger and better than we were before. We pull a lot of creative energy from our sadness. So some people may wonder, oh, do they love being sad? Do they love being hurt? Like, I know people that look at me like, yo, I don't get how you go through what you go through and why people put you through that, but you don't deserve it. And the people who hurt you, the people who hurt Pisces, they know that we don't deserve that type of hurt. But some people just are savages within themselves and they can't help it, or they don't care. So when we go back in and we take that time to ourselves, we always come back stronger and better. Some Pisces may come across as being like late for appointments, absent-minded, kind of to ourselves, and a bit irresponsible. And I honestly can't say that about myself. Like, I used to be this way when I was younger, but that's like one of those things that I worked through. And as I became an adult, I became more organized, more responsible. Like, I maybe the younger Pisces in me could relate to this, but for now, where I am now, and the type of person that I am, and my other friends that are Pisces, I can't really say that we're irresponsible, because for the most part, I see us really like hustling and doing what we have to do and grinding, and we don't have any problem with working and getting things done. Like, we're super responsible. But like all the charts say, we are dreamers. We are in our own little world, in our own little head, and we just live there for the most part. One thing they do say about Pisces is that we kind of feel our way through life and not really try to stick to like a certain solid plan. And I can say this, like, I'm more of a go with the flow type of person, instead of me wanting to stick strictly to a certain plan. My plan can change, it can be fluid, and I like to kind of go with my feelings and how I do things and stuff like that. Like, if I don't feel like my energy level is up, I'm not shooting a video for you guys. I'm not gonna force it, because for me, my energy has to be good. I gotta go with the flow. But some people are more like, okay, if I say I'm gonna shoot on Tuesday, I have to shoot on Tuesday. When for me, it's like, if my energy ain't right on Tuesday, I'm not giving y'all this video, because I don't want to half-ass nothing that I give you guys, you know? Pisces are very wise, and throughout our life, we like to maintain our innocence. And this is because we understand that we are spirits living in a human experience. And One of the things about keeping our innocence as a Pisces is that it keeps us vital and compassion. People appreciate us for our sense of humor, our wordless understanding, and our innate kindness, because we're like super kind. Pisces vibe with Thursdays, the number 3, and colors of aquamarines and variations of blues and greens. We like amethyst, emeralds, opals, pearls, and silver jewelry, but honestly I like gold. I like both, but like gold is more like my thing. Remember that our sign is modified by many factors. We have so many different things that make us up, so you can't just look at one part of our natal chart and just say like this is us. We are complex beings, very dynamic. So take this as your first step to understanding who you really are, your characteristics of you, and your ego part of you, that like conscious part of you. And as we dive further into this series about our moon signs, our rising signs, and the 12 houses, we'll be able to further dissect who we are. Thank you for tuning into this video. I hope you learned something new, and I hope that you are as excited as I am for this series, learning more about me, learning more about you, learning about your natal charts as I break mine down as an example. And I love to see you guys next week. Make sure you are checking in to the weekly lives. The weekly live meditations are lit. If you don't know, check them out. They are always saved on the channel, so you can always come back to it. But I absolutely love them. The last couple of ones I did at night, the nighttime meditation was super good because we were able to journal and be able to manifest for the next 3 months. So we'll be doing a little check-in on one of our lives coming up for like, you know, just an update, but we're going to give it some time to kind of like brew into the universe, you know. Let's plant those seeds and allow it to grow. We got to water them though, you know, so we're watering our seeds right now. I look forward to seeing you guys in next week's video. Love you guys. Love you all so much. Remember, change starts in your mind. You change your mind and you change your whole life. I can't wait to see. I'm sure this is going.